We already chose godparents. My sister told me you weren't considered for a reason. The words hit like a slap at my own baby shower. My sister Emma announced this in front of 20 guests while I was opening gifts. She and her husband Mark were holding my gift, a silver baby rattle, like they owned the place. Here's the thing. I'd been there for Emma through everything. Her divorce 2 years ago, I let her live in my spare room for 6 months rent-free. Not just that, I held her while she cried about her cheating ex-husband, helped her move all her stuff in garbage bags because he'd changed the locks, even lent her my car when hers got repossessed. Her depression episode after the divorce was brutal. I drove her to therapy twice a week for 4 months, sitting in waiting rooms with outdated magazines while she worked through her trauma. When she couldn't get out of bed, I'd show up with homemade soup and clean her dishes. When she couldn't afford her antidepressants, I put them on my credit card without telling her. I was the one who helped her find her current job, literally sat with her at my kitchen table, polishing her resume and practicing interview questions until 2 a.m. When she couldn't afford professional clothes, I bought her a whole interview outfit. When she got the job, she cried and said I'd saved her life. During her custody battle with her ex, I took vacation days to sit in courtrooms for moral support. I babysat her kids every weekend so she could work overtime to pay her lawyer. When she couldn't afford Christmas presents that year, I bought gifts and let her put her name on them so her kids wouldn't be disappointed. But apparently none of that mattered. I wasn't stable enough to be a godparent. Too young at 26, still figuring my life out. That's what she told everyone after I left the shower early, crying in my car. What really stung was overhearing her phone conversation with Mark later that week. She was laughing about how I'd reacted, calling me overly emotional and always the victim. She said I'd been obsessed with being chosen and that they'd decided months ago, but didn't want to hurt my feelings months ago. While I was literally planning her baby shower, buying decorations with my own money, coordinating with 20 different people to make sure she felt celebrated, while I was staying up late making handmade centerpieces because she mentioned wanting something Pinterest-worthy but couldn't afford a party planner. The worst part? I found out she'd asked Mark's sister to be godmother instead. The same sister who'd called Emma desperate during her divorce and refused to help when she was struggling financially. The sister who lived 3 states away and had met Emma maybe 5 times. But she had the right image. Married, suburban house, 2 kids of her own. Emma even had the audacity to ask me to keep planning the shower anyway. "You're so good at this stuff," she said sweetly, "and it would mean so much coming from you. Like I should be grateful to throw a party celebrating her choosing someone else over me." I found out later that Mark had never wanted me as godmother from the beginning. He thought I was too involved in Emma's life and probably jealous of their relationship. He'd been pushing Emma to choose his sister for weeks, saying family should come first. The irony wasn't lost on me. Where was his precious family when Emma was sleeping on my couch, broke and heartbroken? 3 weeks later, my daughter was born premature. Complications during delivery. Emma was nowhere to be found. Posted Instagram stories from some spa weekend with Mark. The only person sleeping in hospital chairs, bringing me coffee at 3 a.m., helping me figure out breast pumping. My best friend Jess, she'd taken unpaid leave from work just to be there. When I finally brought baby home, Emma showed up with a casserole and that fake concerned voice. "How's our goddaughter doing?" I looked at her standing in my doorway. Then at Jess, who was folding tiny baby clothes she'd bought with her own money. "Actually," I said, "Jess is her godmother. We already had the ceremony at the hospital. You weren't considered for a reason." Emma's face went completely white. "Sometimes," I continued, "actions speak louder than family." I closed the door and never looked back.